Today I'm going to talk about Gamma World 4th edition, which is now available as print on demand from DriveThru RPG. And I notice in the upper right hand corner there's this number. Some of the other books I've reviewed recently have this number at the top. I don't know what that number means. Are they each individually numbered, or what is that number? Anyway, so there was a 3rd edition of Gamma World, which was based on the Marvel superhero game. And I never got that, though I did get some modules to it, and it was very different. The 1st edition of Gamma World was so close to 1st edition AD&D that we thought it was the same game. And 2nd edition was really close to that, but 3rd edition was not. And so 4th edition came out during the 2nd edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons era. And they made some changes. First of all, they separated race and class. So the races are pure strain humans, which have a +3 to Constitution, Intelligence, and Charisma, +2 with used artifacts, +2 to health against radiation. Then there's altered humans, used to be called mutated humans. They have physical and mental mutations, -2 on robot recognition. Mutated animals have physical and mental mutations. They're +2 to stealth, -6 to robot recognition. They retain some abilities from their animal heritage. And if they don't take any humanoid traits, in other words, if they're not a humanoid version of that animal, then they get a bonus physical mutation. Now, there's a series of pictures that are, so there's some beautiful pictures here, and I'm pretty sure these were made all as a block. Some of them were used for 2nd edition. A bunch of them were used as module covers for 3rd edition, and here they are in 4th edition. Now, the animals' physical characteristics run a bit differently. They all have some baseline ability with physical strength, dexterity, and constitution, and then they roll 2d4 and add that to their base score. So, for example, alligators are 15 strength, 3 dexterity, 12 constitution, while elephants are 18 strength, 4 dexterity, and 16 constitution. And monkeys are 10 strength, 14 dexterity, 5 constitution. So, and there's a bunch of animals to choose from here. Plants. In 1st edition Gamma World, I loved playing plants. And so here they are. They have plant mutations instead of the physical mutations. They're +2 to remain unseen, +2 to their Constitution bonus. There's no chance your plant PCs can be mistaken as human by robots. They need sun and soil instead of food. If they don't take any humanoid characteristics, they have a bonus physical mutation and +1 Constitution every level. They also have a slower movement speed than pure strain humans or mutated humans. With mutated animals, it's based on what kind of animal they are. Now, they also have some other bonuses depending on what kind of plant they are. If they're brush, like bushes and grasses, they get +3 to remain unseen. If they're flowers, they get a +3 charisma. If they're fungi, they get +3 on their mental defense bonus. And if they're trees, they're +3 on strength, and vines, they're +2 on dexterity. So here is a summary of how you roll up characters. For most of the stats, it's 4d6, drop the lowest one for humans, whether they're pure strain or altered. Pure strain humans get +3 bonus on 3 of their abilities. That's Constitution, Intelligence, and Charisma. Mutated animals, for 3 of their abilities, they have a base score plus 2d4, and the others they're 3d6. And sentient plants are just 3d6. Now there's some new scores, new attributes. There's senses, which is 3d6 for humans, whether they're mutated or not, and 4d6 drop the lowest one for mutated plants and animals. And then if they have a mutation, the mutation has a power score, which is rolled separately for each mutation. It's 3d6 drop the lowest one. Okay. Now, in first edition, you had 1d4 physical or mental and 1d4 mental mutations. So if you rolled really low, you'd get 1 of each. If you rolled really high, you would get 8, 4 of each. But in this edition, you get 5. And you roll to see how many are physical and how many are mental, but it's 5. Here's a master list of the mutations. Now, one of the things that's different about this version is they're now classes. And another thing is I introduced this new concept called ascending armor class, in which your armor class was the number it took to hit you. So the first class is the Enforcer. This is an analog to the Fighter class, but they're also good at using physical mutations. So they're +1 on attack, which is +1 to hit, and they get their Constitution bonus added to their hit points. Not the Constitution score added to their hit points. And each level they advance, they get another +1 to hit, and +1 on their physical mutation scores if they're a mutant. Each level they advance, they get to add their Constitution bonus to their hit points. And they have 12 points in skills, sort of like Thief skills in second edition. Only the skills they have are combat leadership, makeshift weapon, makeshift armor, and size up opponent. Now, the next class is the Esper class. This is a class that's really good at using mental mutations. So they have to be a mutant of some kind with a mental mutation. They get an initial +1 to their mental defense score, and each level advances, they get another +1 to their mental defense, and a +1 bonus on all mental mutation power scores. And they have skills, 16 points to distribute among hypnosis, identify mental power, photographic memory, and sense mental powers. Now, the Examiner is sort of like the Magic User, only it's the techno class. They start with a tech item. If it's a weapon, it comes with ammo. If it has a power cell, it comes with a power cell. They're +1 on use artifacts and robot recognition. Each level advance, they get another +1 on use artifacts, and there's 16 skill points to use on avoid artifact disaster, jury reg, read schematics, and repair artifact. All right, and so the last class is like a combination Ranger and Thief. This is a really good class for mutated plants and animals. They get a +1 on perception, stealth, and remain unseen. Each level advance, they get a +1 on perception, stealth, and remain unseen. Each level advance, they can place 1 point on one of their attributes, or the mutation, or class skill. Non-scouts do this every 2 levels. Scouts can do it every level, so they're the skill monkeys. And they have 20 points to distribute on their skills, which are detect ambush or trap, hunting, navigate, tracking, and wilderness survival. Now, there are also some common skills that everybody can do, and if you're a certain class, you're better at it. So, Reading and writing, all examiners can do that. Swimming, all scouts can do that. Writing, all enforcers can do that. There's not any class that all espers can do, though. All right. So there's some new art here, but I'm not going to show it all, but there is some of this old art. Here's another one. This was a module cover in 3rd edition. I forget the module. So it goes into mutations. In combat. The use artifacts diagram. There's only one of them. There are 3, like in Expedition to the Barrier Peaks, or Metamorphosis Alpha, or 1st edition. Here's another picture, which was used in 2nd edition to be the box cover. Goes into small biotechnology, but I already covered a lot of this in previous editions of Gamma World. One thing that's different is they have tech ages. So tech age 1 is like, or 0 is like Stone Age, 1 is like hunter-gatherers, 2 is medieval, 3 is like the early modern era, 4 is like the early industrial age, 5 is the modern age, and 6 is the future. So here's a picture of people from all the different ages. And there's equipment, some of it, there's This was a picture of a module from 3rd edition. And there's some pictures of some of the equipment so you can see what it looks like. And yeah, this solar charger is a lot bulkier than I would expect it to be. And then there's weapons. Whoever drew these pictures of weapons was not as good as the one who drew pictures of them for Expedition to the Barrier Peaks. Bradley gun. More weapons. See, the Needler was a lot sleeker in S3. Another picture that was used for a module in 3rd edition. Pretty good picture. There's some pictures of vehicles. Robots, goes into robots a bit. And we get pictures of the robots. There's a disaster robot. Now, I thought the EcoBot was a lot less human-looking than that. I thought it was more like the disaster bot there. Household robot, industrial robot. Metabot looks like a coffin. Police robot. Security robot. A warbot. I like the picture of the warbot in the older editions much better. And it goes into a bit of the cryptic alliances, which are the same as in the other versions which I've already reviewed. There aren't any new ones. It's the same. And creatures. I got pictures of the creatures which already appeared in second edition. These are mostly the exact same pictures, same artwork. We can skip past that. A little bit about how to do the campaign. And here's a picture of Gamma World, all in pink. That's not near as good as the second edition picture. Take a look at that. Isn't that much better? There's another picture used for a module in third edition. Yeah, another one, same thing. Skipped it. This picture, I skipped it at some point, but this is in the book, this picture, and it was in second edition. Okay, there's an index, and character sheet, and maps. So this is all the map you get with this edition. It's like a second section of Lake Michigan with the burning river and some more near Bonpar. So that is 4th edition Gamma World, which came out during the 2nd edition Advanced Dungeons & Dragons era and introduced Ascending Armor Class. Let's see if I can find that picture I missed.